Yeah, by the looks of it, she's gonna have some fans in the Dragon's Dogma community. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. She's gonna have a lot of patrons, that's for sure. Wilhelmina is Diet Jennifer, yeah. She definitely got an OnlyFans, yeah. We're gonna cook today, trust me. One thing a lot of people have been telling me, this emblem for the Mystic Spear Hand is actually not red, but orange. Because when looking at this post, orange spot is actually missing, and that would make sense. I have to agree on that. Yeah, there are screenshots. This post by Kexil, if you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go and watch it. It's just top-notch editing. Just go and watch it. It's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, so spears are in the game. So a lot of people have been commenting me that they have seen spears in the game by the guards. She's using a spear as well. The thing is that in the first game, if a guard was using a weapon, you could use it as well. There are some guards that even was MKs, I think, at the Blighted Man's. If a guard is using a weapon, they definitely have a moveset for it. So there's no doubt about that in the first game that was the case. Is it the same in the sequel? I don't know. It's definitely something that gives us hope for it to be a specific spear vocation. I'm pretty sure that this is just marketing for how the game will look when it launches. Let me put it another way. In Dragon's Dogma 1, we had 9 vocations, right? Let me just pop that up as well. I would argue that for Dragon's Dogma 2, we are getting a game that is 4 times bigger than the first game. That doesn't just mean that it's 4 times bigger in scale of the map, but it's actually 4 times bigger in content. Twice as many as in the first game is not a stretch at all. Yeah, Darkor, actually, that's that's a fun theory, that the rest of the 9 vocations are on the back, because you could do a lot of things with the Seeker that you can't do with the Thief here. Look, the big difference here, you can't really deny that the Seeker is completely different when it comes to most of its attack patterns. You are flying with the Seeker. I don't know how to play Seeker, really. If you see how people play Seeker, they are in the air all the time. This is an airborne class and a DPS class, of course. So I would say a Seeker could be an evolution of Thief. That I could agree with. The thing that's annoying me with the colors is that's just how I am. It's probably just a bit of OCD as well, but the colors doesn't really match up with any of these hybrids. This color here is darker than your archer, but of course the advanced vocations usually have a darker color. But then again, this hybrid is too dark for this light color and too light for this sorcerer color. Not really digging the colors here, but maybe just design that we shouldn't pay too much attention to it. So if you look at the Spirit Lancer here, you can see the remnants of the Mystic Spear Hand here. Almost got the same color as well. This is the soul of the Spirit Lancer. There is no denying it. This class in Didion was more of a support. You would heal the party, and you'd also buff the party a lot more than the Mystic Spear Hand is doing now in the sequel. Well, it would be cool if they actually, you know, in this first scene actually, because you have no moon in the first game, would be cool if they hinted and we would see the moon somewhere here. That would be cool. There's an orb there. I don't know if that orb maybe could be some kind of buff that this thief have on. Maybe it's been buffed by the mage or an elemental archer. It looks like, what do you call it? Kopesh? Looks like a curved sword at least, and you can see it. Let's see, there, that's a good frame. In Dragon's Dogma 1, all the swords were just straight swords. So that's really cool to see. A lot of the things you can see in this scene can be explored. So you would be able to explore all the forest areas down here and also all these regions all the way to the top here. Like Elden Ring, there's added a lot more verticality. As well as that, I know from Didion that you can climb as well. Just like you can climb enemies, you can also climb terrain. I think we saw that in the trailer, in one of the trailers as well. But it's cool to have Eastern influence in this game as well. I think this is Priestess Nadinia, and who was this again? Yes, you have Nadinia, and then you have this. This is Manella, a beastress who leads the Guard of the Lambent Flame. Okay, yeah, and she's the one wielding a spear. I actually thought that this was Nadinia the first time, but it's not. It's Manella. From what I see here, it looks like this race is focused in the mystical arts, at least from what we see here. So, could make sense that a summoner, a necromancer, and a beastmaster, a sage, could have origins from this region. She does look like a monk, that's for sure. Maybe this is a Batal vocation. And that's actually a good point. I have never really studied her armor. You see something there, right? Standing there? Yeah, there you saw it much clearer. It looks like a summon with a weapon or something there. Yeah, it's probably just a duplicate. The summoner can have, or the trickster can have multiple summons out at the same time. That's interesting, at least, if you can that. You just look at the way that... What class is that? Is that the fighter? The fighter is just getting yeeted out of the frame there. I think that's funny to see. I think this is the same character, right? Yeah. So this is Doirian, and that's probably an elf. Sister of Glinder. So that's the sister you guys were talking about. She hails from the elf's home in the forest, that quiet, refined young woman with elegant manners. So this is like the Mercedes of the sequel, right? Almost like the Tree of Life or something like this, but it's the Erd Tree, yeah. Yeah. Dragon's Dogma 2 is combining Dragon's Dogma 1 and Elden Ring lore for some reason. It's the World Tree in Norrøn mythology. Let's just read this. So, just looking at this, it gives this parallel world theory in Dragon's Dogma some footing, actually. It has such long roots that it goes through different worlds. That's actually really interesting. So this could be some sort of link to other worlds, actually. I hope we see it on horseback, but even without it, it's a badass enemy. That's an interesting thing, because you had this enemy in Didion as well. Maybe this is Aldous. Maybe this is the fucker. Well, I don't know why Aldous annoyed me so much in the first game, but man, this looks like some Aldous shit. Yeah, we all hate Aldous for some reason. So some YouTuber calls Dragon's Dogma 2 a Witcher 3 knockoff. Well, fucking hell, man. Dragon's Dogma, yeah, it predates. It's fun to see, though. Did you guys notice that when looking at this hill figure, Talos is something that would ring a lot of bells, that this is some kind of mystical creature that would bring upon the doom of the world? The Dragon Forged was a spear user for certain. The daggers you can get there were the tips of his spear that broke fighting Grigori. That is actually pretty cool. These classes that we saw in that first poster, you have over here. I actually haven't noticed that until now. You have those classes here as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of theories around his purple heart. I mean, instantly I think about the Erd Dragon and cursed dragons. So it's probably some kind of curse he has brought upon himself to become powerful. I don't know. They're using spears. All of these guards here. It's a conspiracy, yeah. There's a lot of hints that spears will be in the game, so we'll see. Time will show. It almost looked like that thief was doing some kind of grab there. It almost looks like that on the attack, but could be. And that's also, that looks like a parry. That looks like a parry because you see that white flash. Yeah, that was definitely some kind of parry. Like the flight response or something like that. That's a counter attack where he just slices and rolls on the ground. I actually saw a video about someone talking about the pawn voices. I'm not sure who that was. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it was Thief of Crystals. He's been making some Dragon's Dogma guides and stuff in the past. But this at least looks like the sorcerer is getting buffed with the spell syncing as well. It looks a lot faster. That's a cool spell. The spell syncing looks a lot faster than before, and that's cool to see. Like you instantly cast there almost. And the Sphinx is also an enemy that you saw in the Didion. So this is an enemy you had in Didion. So this Sphinx here looks like it's gonna be a guardian of something. You see the key here, and it's clearly this Sphinx looks intelligent enough that it looks like it's talking to the character. I mean, yeah, I think about furries a lot, Bob, but specifically when it comes to the unarmed combat, I think it's something like I think Khajiits in Skyrim had some extra bare-handed damage, something like that. That would make sense for the Beast Run as well. Will you say hi to the live stream?
I am.
See hi.
Hi.
Say good night.
Good night.
See bye-bye.
Bye bye.
That's my little pawn right there. Then we have this character. The first time I saw this, I thought this was just a female version of that cult. And I still think it can be something like that. So if you look at the Talos enemy, if you just focus on the colors on these crystals, they are purple. And again, like we saw on his chest here, must be some kind of connection with his chest and that power. I think this Talos enemy could be some sort of Dragon, like a different version of Dragon. I think this also could be a boss that you could fight together with other people in your world. But it's walking towards the Blue Moon Tower here. You can see the Blue Moon Tower in the back here, or something that would resemble the Blue Moon Tower in this parallel universe. This helmet here, it looks almost identical to this elven armor set you get in Skyrim. That's the thing I said in the other video talking about vocations, that we have actually in this, the Greatsword. Could also be a normal sword, but we just theorized that this would be the Greatsword. And the warrior vocation here, some kind of mage here, because you have a staff and you have another staff here, so mage is sorcerer, and you have the thief in the middle here. Then you have the archer and the magic archer. The spear class here is the mystic spear hand, and this class here was the trickster, right? But where the hell is the fighter? So in this thumbnail we can see it more clearly. We have, yeah, the fighter. I think the fighter is in the middle here with some sword in the ground there. This to me looks more like the throne in Bitter Black Isle. This looked more like Daemon's throne, really, the way it's built up. Just the way it's built up with the stairs here, and you have the throne on top of that. That looks similar to this construction, but hey, might just mean nothing. It's really cool footage of the Dragon Forged. I think somebody mentioned the Seneschal, but you see clearly that his hands have been burnt after fighting the dragon, and this is skeletons of big monsters. I think this is probably dragons. This looks like some Minotaur. Now, I said in the first video that I will definitely pre-order this, but I feel like you guys should really take a stand when it comes to pre-orders, because it just sends the signal to developers that they can make whatever they want and release a good trailer, and then you would buy it. Of course, when it comes to Dragon's Dogma 2, it's been 10 years. We've been waiting for 10 years, over 10 years. And of course, we're gonna get the game, but I still think that if you don't want to use that money on it, you shouldn't feel bad, if that's the way to say it. But I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'm just gonna wait for the release and get these things when it gets out, you know? It's still a lot of... I think the game is pricey enough as it is. Man, it would be cool to see Cringe, Nihil and me on that sofa. we could always dream, guys. I just want to address that somebody said something about everybody's gonna pirate the game. So what this anti-tamper software does, it's not downloaded on your PC when you start up the game. It just runs in the code of the game while you play it. So that means that when you play it, it's gonna be for a time, probably the first months, very hard to pirate the game, and also very hard to change the game and mod the game. Probably it's not bad news, but the thing I've heard from this being used in other games is that it's gonna impact your performance no matter what. A lot of you guys have probably seen the requirements for Dragon's Dogma 2, and I have to be honest, I'm still rocking the RTX 2060. If this is gonna make it even worse, this the Novu anti-tamper system, that's not the best thing for the launch of Dragon's Dogma 2. So here we see the grass in action. It doesn't look like the grass is moving when you walk through it. Things like that. I think a lot of people, especially in the YouTube community in general for Dark Souls, Skyrim games, are really excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. I think a lot of people are like getting their eyes open to what Dragon's Dogma really is. I don't know what you guys think about this. When people talk in the in-game, you get this like anime effect around them. I hope you can turn that off though. That's ruining the immersion for me. So you have a first look at the map here, but I want to take a look at all these commands here. We have all the old commands here, like we have in the first game. You have your sheath and draw and grab and release and the vocation actions. Hold on, you have switch weapon skill and you have vocation action. Huh, it's actually two different types now. And you have the heavy attack and light attack, examine dash weapon skill 4. So that's interesting, because in the first game, in Dragon's Dogma Online, I think every class had some kind of dodge. But here it looks like you have weapon skills in all 4 buttons. I think this is actually a really good example of how hard it is to play a ranged vocation close up like this. He's missing a lot of his attacks, and just switching to that auto aim mode just allows him to fight better. A lot of people will still, of course, prefer to be able to fight manually, but I think that's really a boon for the archer class here. Look at this goblin on fire. Yeah, so that reminds me of getting rid of Rook. It gave me deja vu there. And when you're leveling up, that's something I noticed actually as well. You still got that vocation-specific stat raise. Something I didn't really appreciate in the first game because it really locked you into the vocation you need to be in for certain classes and certain endgame stats that you needed. Hopefully these stats are evened out more in the sequel. You're getting a lot of magic actually. More than twice the magic. So that is strange. Yeah, so the Silt lingerie is definitely not coming back. And why? I mean, there's really nothing we can do. We don't have any partial nudity in the in the sequel. I mean, that's the least of fan service Itsuna can do. Give us the silk lingerie back, right? So you see, like outfits like this is gonna fill up the rift, of course. This female as well. Yeah, we're gonna see that a lot in the rift. That's for sure. You lose all sense of difficulty, really. So I was hoping that would be some kind of heal over time or some kind of penalty. Maybe it is, I don't know. I haven't seen them use the item still, so at least the heal is looking a lot better this time around. This Anodyne, do you guys remember? Anodyne would just fuck up your vision in the first game. I love that in Dragon's Dogma, of course, you have already the climbing mechanics, so you have the animations for your character in them. This is just very nice to see. It feels so much better that you can climb these areas like you see here. So that's a really nice touch. You got that Assassin's Creed climbing. You got that soft auto aim when you fight in melee. You had that in the first game and they kept it like that. It's a good quality of the combat in Dragon's Dogma. It always felt free enough, but also you were able to hit your enemies without too much concern. And this is the good thing actually, because now you have 4 skills. This is what I thought when I saw that inventory. You have your smoke screen and even your X is available now. That was not possible in the first game. You have in total then 6 skills available with the Swift Step 7 skills. That's why it doesn't make sense for me that the thief will have only Swift Step and no other skills attached to that when you press R1. Alright, so we got Airward Slash, we got Blink Strike, Compass Slash and Shield Bash. Yeah, so I think it's pretty much confirmed now by seeing this that the shield skills is also one of your weapon skills now. So that's also a big change then. In the first trailer I thought they were just spamming light attack, but to actually do that in Pale, it looks like they're pressing the heavy attack to do the finisher there. And I think I saw a short footage of this when I think they cooked some kind of meat that was looking fucking like Wagyu meat. Yeah, this is the one. That's looking so good, and they really made that super realistic, so that's cool. At least it looks like the climbing is a lot faster than the first game. That's almost like that's almost the same speed as your Strider. Yeah, just I mean, look at that, and it's just such good hit detection. And I think we can't really appreciate how big of a leap this is. It is such good ragdoll physics and hit detection. It is just crazy to see. Yeah, I think the guy doesn't know what a shield is. For sure. Oh, there he is. There he fucking is. When I said it, he used the shield. So he's using Defend, and you have change shield direction. So does that mean that you can shield upside down, or does that mean like you can shield on your right side? I have no idea. But you still have your Impale and your Onslaught there, but there's no shield attacks when you defend. And this is just your basic shield, like you hold your shield up. In the first game you had your attack and then wait and then another attack. That would also be a different skill. And you would also have your heavy attack. If you hold that in, it would be a different skill. So I hope they have something like this in the sequel as well. And we've been doing some lore crafting, some vocation crafting. And I thank you guys for joining me on this stream. It's been super helpful. And as always, you never fail to crack me up. You never fail to crack me up in these streams. I can't wait to see the next showcase from Capcom, and maybe we'll get a demo soon. Until then, I'll see you next time.